Gayatri Mahamantra with your back straight, both hands on your laps, left beneath the right. Om Bhura Bhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Today we come down upon the part 7 of the ongoing series of mystical Gayatri Mahamantra. Many a times, doubts keep coming into seeker's mind while considering few prescribed indications for japa. In such a case, one must always prioritize the change and accommodation based upon the common principle of yuganukul. What is yuganukul? Yug means era, eon. Anukul in accordance to that. According to the prevailing times, there are certain changes that are brought into certain considerations which must be accommodated into the new lifestyles and beliefs that come and take place. That is what is termed as Yuganukul. Now, there are certain affordability constraints, certain compulsions of every time, so we must accommodate them. Doubts may arise that is it necessary to face towards the rising sun for the japa? One may inform that yes, towards the east in my room I have a toilet. Hence, facing that direction creates a discomfort in my mind during japa. So I have a restriction and a constraint to face towards the east. The standard observation for such a confusion is to follow the principle of Yuganukul, which says that adjust according to your situation. The intellect may crop up further doubts that if I go on to accommodate such an accommodation, would such accommodation compromise on the outcome of my japa? My individual answer goes no. There is no compromise to your japa if you are going to accommodate at least on the count of the direction, provided there is a restriction at your end. The outcome exclusively depends upon the intensity of your inner absorption during the moments of japa. The outward consideration matters to a very little extent, that it helps you to at least interiorize the surrounds, the environments. They help us interiorize. There is no doubt. But when it comes to the real intensity and outcome of a japa, it's totally a process which has to undergo within ourselves. Remember that the need for such subtle power of Gayatri Mahamantra probably was never felt before as compared with these ongoing times. Therefore, leave no room to gather any element of excuse for the reason that the kind of energy that we need today to deflect and diffuse negativism, which is right now present in every particle of the air and the thought environment. Both, both are contaminated. So we need a lot of positive energy. So leave no room for excuses which have no basis. Maybe in the regard and light of facing the direction, a particular direction, and so on and so forth. Now, the energy generated through your Gayatri Japa shall not only be able to pour its bliss upon the seeker, one who is practicing Gayatri Japa, but also contribute to the larger thought environment. Like in the consideration of a yajna, when you perform a yajna, you offer oblations with the samida samagri. Not only you, as the doer, shall benefit out of the outcome of the yajna, but the larger air pollution shall also be diffused by the impact of those herbs, vital herbs that are given as an oblation to the fire. So, likewise, through Gayatri Japa, its energy is going to diffuse negativism in the surroundings. So, you contribute to your own self, your own evolution, and you also at the same time contribute to the larger environment. In the prevailing times, any spiritual practice of this order, it works twofold. Not only at the end of your evolution, that it removes obstacle within you as a seeker, but also to others who somehow come into the contact of this energy through the surrounds, through the environment. Practice of Gayatri Yaga, Gayatri Japa is a yagya in itself. It's a yagya of energy, the energy of sound. With the energy of our concentrated intent, along with the power of our emotion, bhava, prabal bhava, intense emotion, that generates immense energy that works within us and in various subtle dimensions. So, in a way, Gayatri Japa is a twofold accomplishment under Atmano Mokshartha Jagat Hitacha. You invoke subtle energy. When you release the sound energy, it moves into the subtle dimension, gathers the like minded or like ones, and then further returns back onto the seeker where from it generated. So you may offer few couple of mala as your japa, but in return that comes down to you is in abundance. And these are not my words. These are the words of those exalted ones who acquired the status of becoming a seer. Your part is to merely make yourself available with all sincerity. Remember that fire incinerates everything, but that does not mean every fire can accomplish to incinerate anything. Therefore, barring any scope of doubt, start your sadhana and gain that ability, energy, the reservoir of energy, which will enable you cherish larger objectives. The more the abundant source of energy you have, the better is going to be the accomplishment in its return in your own personal and spiritual growth. Till such stature is gathered, protect your faith from any and every vulnerability projected by your doubting mind. Austerity alone protects a seeker from any kind of vulnerability which is projected towards your doubt proning, projected by your doubt proning mind. So, if you want to immune yourself from the vulnerability, you must bring in some element of austerity. And there is no other resolve or any other comparable source which can diffuse any doubt or negativism which crops up from within the seeker itself, except austerity. Austerity incinerates. It incinerates all doubt, skepticism, and dichotomy within a seeker. Cravings may keep locking and looking upon you as an opportunity to infringe and thwart your japa routines, because cravings they generate from the kinds of propensities that we have gathered not only this life but many lives even before. So they are there seeking in deceptive mode, seeking an opportunity to simply pop up and infringe and somehow see to ensure that they're able to derail our journey towards our objective. So, therefore, uncompromisingly remain cautious and remain engaged into affordable kind of austerities. What does affordable austerity mean? I understand that a couple of years ago, I had heard a term which was known as affordable luxury. Luxury was not affordable, but few brands this initiated upon this aspect of affordable luxury, that now you can afford a certain extent of luxury, so that those who felt otherwise deprived of luxury could now take an initiative and see what all they can gather to their account. So likewise, here it is being suggested to you to consider upon the affordable austerities, so that you remain immune from any and every kind of infringement projected to you by the adversarial aspects of the Maya within and Maya without. Those affordable austerities can be at the end of diet, conduct, or thought. What should they be? That is your individual consideration. But remember, the fundamental principle in the beginning is affordable austerity. So, Gayatri Japa, along with affordable austerity, at least once in a week in the form that you consider as most apt for you, should must be incorporated in your life. This will give you immense amount of energy which shall help you to overcome many obstacles that keep coming towards you in order to derail and deflect you from your spiritual pursuit. So, the takeaway of this day, along with other mentioning, I try to incorporate couple of points into the same session. But the major deliverable here is try to work upon the list of affordable austerities and observe them one by one, not all at one go. No, one by one. Say, for instance, you have created your diet plan for one particular day in a week as a restraint, but that should be affordable one. Should not be able to create any hazard or restriction to your normal movement of the life. Something which you can afford, maybe a restriction for half a day. Don't observe any fasting for complete day. Keep it for half a day. With the normal kind of diet that you consume in your home, just consume it for the half portion of the day. Leave the half day in the form of an observance for the austerity that you determine for yourself. That will suffice initially. And for example, say after couple of months you determine that now I must go on to an austerity which concerns or pertains to the field of my thought restraint. Restrict yourself for about a day from certain programs or certain sightings which you feel that unless I watch them, I don't feel myself accomplished for the day. I need a gratification. Unless I watch them, I am not gratified. I am unfulfilled. So observe a restraint from them, consider it as an austerity, and then move on. So, likewise, determine for yourself another austerity from either thought, conduct, or dietary one, and generate immense amount of energy that shall enable you gather so much of force that you shall not derail from your spiritual pursuit of Gayatri Mahamantra Japa. Take these words seriously. I know you are a seeker. You are certainly going to take these words very seriously. But here, the seriousness of my words is not only in the consideration that you should immediately jump on to plan austerity. Give yourself some time, some room. Take the consent of your mind and body both. Don't consider as them as someone whose considerations and choice shall not matter. They have their own part of say. So let them also collaborate. Give them room. Instead of planning something for the next day, better to plan for the next week. Give yourself 1 week to give them to allow them to give their concurrence. Once you have everything in line, then you start your practice of affordable austerity. Don't just jump upon them. Having said so, it is enough for this particular session. We'll go on observing upon the Gayatri Japa, the practice of Gayatri, in initial stages in the most simple terms. Later on, we shall also enjoin with them the understanding that corresponds to the scriptural mentioning that shall enforce, give you more energy and force in order to build something which is like an edifice, not easily impenetrable edifice within your own self. So, enough for the day. More to come in the next session. Till then, Om Hi Satya Hai. Om Hi Satya Hai. Om Hi Satya Hai.